Hey, so we're here in my bedroom where I've sort of spent the past 19 years. Was always involved in sports, so this is where swimming started for me. Obviously got a few trophies, which is always nice, but this is sort of more the hockey side of it. Started playing for Beale Hockey Club as a junior and then proceeded to Commercial Hockey Club, where I was fortunate enough to win 4 A-grade premierships for the club, which is something very special. Obviously had a bit of success over the few years, but it's always nice to come home to Brisbane and visit the grassroots. But this one's probably my biggest achievement. The Youth Olympic Games in 2010 was a very successful tour for us. Fortunate enough to come away with the gold medal, which is always nice. And in here we've got everything from club to blades, with all my uniforms and shorts, but don't have room for it all, so a lot of it gets packed up and left here with Mum while I head back to Perth. So we're out here in the backyard. This is our little patch of turf that we managed to get off the State Hockey Centre when they redid Field 1 about 10 years ago. So we've been out here hitting around for about the past 10 years. Also, the biggest influence in my career has been my dad. He's coached me since I was in under-9s.
Thanks, Dan. Yeah, he's been a wonderful son. We've had a great experience coming up as he was a kid, and the other 2 brothers, and we've made it a fairly family affair as we've come through and had a lot of fun with it. And Mum's helped along too, because she's always there doing the huge amounts of washing and ironing and everything else, and coming along and supporting. I guess watching him come through as a little junior, even when he was under 7s and under 11s, he had a tenacity that he just never wanted to give up. And I guess in his career, watching him get through, all his tournaments and the way he trains, he just never gives up. I think his probably greatest asset to a team is the fact that he feels for the team, and he tries his very best to make something happen for that team, not necessarily as an individual, but in a group situation. So it's a pleasure watching the way he's come through, and it's great. He's got 2 other wonderful brothers that support him and have helped him through his career as well. And I can't take all the credit. He's got a natural ability of the way he plays the game and understanding of space and discipline. And his 2 brothers have been an integral part of his development as well.
Yeah, I owe a lot of my hockey to my brothers. I'm here with Josh. Chris can't be here, but yeah, we've been out in the backyard for years, hitting and just playing hockey together. So there was a game last year where we were fortunate enough to all make the team in A grade together. Josh got on for a few minutes and he almost scored, which was really nice. But it was the first time we got to actually play a game together, so it was sort of one of the best experiences.
Yeah, no, I remember that game. It was my first debut for Commercial Cobras Division 1 over at Redcliffe. I remember Chris passed it to Dan passed it back to Chris passed it back to Dan, then Dan passed it to me. I had a shot, not the best shot I must say, but he gave me every opportunity I could for that, and unfortunately I couldn't get it, but if I did, I think it would have been the first time in who knows how many years that 3 brothers have all played in the same team and all scored a goal in the same game. I remember the A-grade coach coming up to me and saying, "If only you got that goal." And I was like, growing up, Dan has always been an inspiration with hockey. I remember as a kid loving my video games. He used to say, "If you come up to me and if you do 5 perfect drags, I'll let you play my video games." So he's always been a good brother. Always helped me out, always helped me train, pushed me on. When I don't want to train, he's always come out and, "Beagle, you got to train, you got to do it." Since he's gone to Perth, training got a little bit harder, forcing myself to go out and run. Not having him there, showing me the rights and wrongs of hockey, all the techniques, sort of leaving me to fend for myself a little bit. It was harder because he was obviously the first one to go through, so he gave me a lot of advice. What all the coaches told him, he told me. losing him, you know, it hurt a little bit. Also, just on a personal level, you know, losing a brother to halfway across the country is always hard.
There's plenty of parts about Brisbane that I really miss. Friends, family, everything was here and it was home. But definitely the past 12 months, moving to Perth, it happened really sudden. But it's been an amazing experience. It actually started AHL 2012. I didn't expect to make that team, and after it was done, I thought I played pretty well. And I got Matt Wells, our head coach, came up and said, you played really well. I think there's something coming up. Just be prepared. And I was sort of like, yeah, awesome, but no idea. And then I got an email saying you've made the Super Series team, and just a dream come true, really, just over the moon. And I thought I played well enough there, and then it was a couple months later, it was a phone call saying, pack your bags, you're coming to Perth on a scholarship. So it was sort of that moment was the realisation that you're moving to Perth, you're going to actually, follow a childhood dream. Of course it meant leaving home, which was tough, but that phone call was very special. But it was just the start of a long transition for me. Having to pack up and leave Brisbane meant transferring my studies, which I've now done. Had to find a new job, which I started work at Griffin Hockey, my sponsor, which is just amazing. They've been so supportive of me and my career so far. But also meant finding a house. So I'm actually living with Jacob Wetton, a fellow Kookaburra. So I sort of, when I first heard he was my first point of contact, I sort of said, who do I know over there that can help me out? And gave him a call, and he said, yeah, no worries. I'll pick you up from the airport. And and it was sort of as simple as ringing him, as he made it that much easier. But there's a lot to it. You really do have to pick your whole life up and move cities, which was a first-time experience for me and really tough. It's been a while since I've been back down here at the State Hockey Centre, playing for the Commercial Hockey Club. Over in Perth now, got put in the draft system where they assign you a hockey club. So I now play for UWA Hockey Club in Perth. Fairly much the same as here. They make it easy for you. There's a lot of people that have to move to Perth for their hockey, so it's pretty easy to transition hockey-wise to pick it up. Of course, the training is a bit different now, having to balance both the AIS and Kookaburra sessions with the club sessions. A normal week for me now in Perth consists of probably 3 team sessions on the stick and balls under Rick Charlesworth. He's always out there giving us guidance. 2 individual stick sessions where we sort of focus more on our skill development, and they sort of come off the back of our gym sessions, so we sort of link those 2 together. We always play a game on the weekend internally, just to get a bit of competitiveness into the sessions, and then there's just meetings. We always have a few team meetings throughout the week. Overall, it probably is about 10 to 12 sessions we'll do a week, but we always have Sunday off to sort of give the body and mind a break to start the week again. It's interesting, we got the Australian Futures Group out here because that was me not too long ago. My transition to Perth was very quick, and it happened very suddenly. And you learn a lot in 12 months living away from home. It was definitely one of the toughest things to leave family, but definitely the biggest highlight was getting my debut in March. It was one of the most special times in my career so far. So some of the things that caught me by surprise and were very interesting playing for the Kookaburras was the atmosphere and energy you get pulling on the green and gold and playing in front of bigger crowds was something I never expected. It was a massive learning curve for me, especially over in India real recently. Playing in front of crazy loud crowds was a different experience and something truly special. Crowds in India, they're just so loud and passionate, and you can't help but feed off that. The Indian team will get the ball on the halfway and they're up on their feet cheering, and it's something you don't expect because it puts pressure on you. You feel as though the game's going so fast and it's all happening, whether it's actually just a normal game of hockey, but the crowds and the atmosphere, and it just creates for nail-biting hockey, even though it may not be. When I first got to the Kookaburras, I was nervous and excited, but the culture is something that the Kookaburras are always improving and working on. But at the moment, they were just welcoming, and it was nothing but and special and exciting for me. So there was all the older boys that you've watched on TV were just regular people that you're just out there hitting a hockey ball with, and all the fellas that you've sort of looked up to going through it's just really special and welcoming environment to be a part of. They always make you feel a part of the group. There's never a moment you'll go by and feel isolated or alone. There's such a camaraderie about the team where everyone's so close, where it just makes for just a great bunch of mates that so happen to be playing hockey together, and it's been so easy to move into the team and just join in really, because they've just got something so special there that you can't help but just get drawn in. We spend so much time together on the field, playing and training, that friendships are made. Some of my best mates are in the Kookaburras teams, and it transcends the field. It's not unknown that there's groups of guys that will go out and have a hit a golf, or just head out together and just spend time together. So it is very hard not to have your best mates out on the pitch, because you do spend so much time together that a lot of it goes past the hockey and more into the social side of it too. Looking to the future, I'd like to play for the Kookaburras as long as I can and as long as my body lets me. I've had some personal experience with my brother Chris, who had other priorities, and his life drifted away from hockey, which I completely understood. But for me personally, I want to be involved with the team and even the sport. For many more years, it's been something I've enjoyed and cherished. So as long as I can stay involved in the sport, I'd love to. And as long as I can be a Kookaburra, I'm going to try and hang on. But there's always a point in your career.